Yes, good evening. Welcome back to Football Heritage TV. It's been 4 or 5 days now. Nothing really to talk about, but we are here. It is North London Derby week. It's Tuesday, which means we've got Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night. 5 more sleeps. Do you remember that when you were little? Or maybe some of you do it now. 4 sleeps to go, 3 sleeps to go. Well, there are 5 more sleeps until Tottenham Hotspur take on what some are calling a depleted Arsenal Football Club. We'll get into that and more. Today, we're also going to be talking about, I don't know why I've decided to bring this up. We're going to be talking about David Pleat, who has made a lot of comments about Tottenham Hotspur owner Daniel Levy, which has not painted Levy in a good light. For some of us, it won't be a shock in any way, shape or form. For others, it might hurt them because Daniel Levy is great. Look what he's done for the club. Not for me. I think the guy has ruined this football club from a kind of family perspective. I feel like we was once what was a great club with a great atmosphere. I feel like now is just a corporate club with no atmosphere and no desire to win. We'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about the England game's coming on shortly in a couple of hours. I won't be delving too deep into that, but I'll be asking a few questions are being asked about Harry Kane. Is Harry Kane still the man to take England through? Do Spurs fans care about that as much now because of the fact that he doesn't play for Tottenham? So that should be interesting. And we'll look at Dominic Solanke. Is he back for the North London Derby? Is Mickey van der Ven going to be fit? I believe he is. I'm just chucking out their questions. And what's the forward line going to be with Solanke coming back? What's the midfield going to be? Does Bentancur start? Does Sarr start? Basuma? You've got Maddison, we know he's going to start. What does this mean for Kulusevski? So there's lots of different things in play here. But let's get started and let's look at, first of all, I absolutely agree with my man Angus. Can't stand international breaks. The only thing that I've really liked, not to show off or anything, everyone likes my Acca watch. The last 2 evenings, I've had massive wins on Accas, which has been really, really very nice. And I've got another one bubbling tonight with 13 teams. The first one is in, thanks to Sun and South Korea. And my next 2 games are in play at the moment, which is Japan and Moldova, who are currently beating San Marino. Anyway, enough about that. But let's have a look, shall we? Let's have a look forward to the weekend's game. First of all, I don't know what basis anybody is saying this on. For me, I think Maddison's had a good start to the season. He's got himself 2 assists. He's looked dangerous. He's having more shots. For me, I'm not sure why anybody would say start Bergvall over Maddison. I don't know what we've seen. Bergvall's had about 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. I'm not sure why we would say that. But, hey, each to their own. And big up to you, HMQ. Guys, girls, Arsenal Football Club. Let's start with them. We can talk about the Tottenham situation in a minute. Good evening, though, by the way. I should have said that. Please smash that like button. Please subscribe. As I said to you the other day, there won't be content constantly. I'm not going to be doing a show every day. I'm starting to switch off some YouTubers that I follow because it's just content after content after content for content's sake. I don't want to be that guy. So here we are tonight. I'll do something else towards the end of the week and then back for the Arsenal Tottenham game at White Hart Lane. Yes, it will always be called White Hart Lane. But big up to a few people. Big up to Vinny in the house, Mr. Gamer, Amir Muller, Tony Rodriguez is here, Finn Rickwood, big up, brother, and Kakuris, big up, and how you doing, my man? Anthony Clark is in the chat. Yomi is here. Anthony Mayo, let me know how that's pronounced. Big up. Good evening to you. Sue Smith. Hello. Good evening to you, my friend. How are you? Tom Thacker, some idiot called Football Heritage TV. Apparently, this idiot started wearing a baseball cap now. I don't know what's going on. Big up to Dan E, who has said this game is the beginning of Ange or the beginning of the end if we get cooked. Well, we're going to talk about it because there's a lot of weight in that sentence. Stephen D is here, so we should be dominating the midfield. I'm gonna respectfully disagree, and I'm gonna talk about this in a minute. I think that everyone's forgetting they've got some very good players to come in. Does it make it easier to play them? Yes. Easier. I just don't think that it's going to be as easy as so many fans are saying. Look, a horrible injury to Odegaard yesterday. I don't wish those injuries upon any player. So on a personal note, I hope he gets well soon. However, him out and Declan Rice out does take two of Arsenal's midfield three out. So let's have a look at this, shall we? And then I will get to some comments and we'll do all of that good stuff. Before we do, here we go. George, big up George. Thank you very much. Has given away a Football Heritage TV membership. He is always very generous in the chat. And that membership was given to Steve 24/7. Big up to Steve. So thank you so much, George. Really appreciate that. And as always, please smash the like button. Please do subscribe. And hopefully we get a little bit more quality content for you rather than quantity moving forward. Oh, mate, the hackers in the last couple of days have been touch and go. Yeah, big up Robert, who has said, long term, I like Bergvall and Maddison, but not yet. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't see them as the same position for a start. But Bergvall, for me, I think a lot of people are saying lots of nice things. I've not really seen him play and do a lot. Again, I'm not sure how much we can see in 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. Everyone's just kind of putting him up there without really any kind of evidence to go along with it. But not saying you, but for me, I can't see how he starts a game of this magnitude over James Maddison. It just doesn't make sense. Angus, look, I think. Listen, I'm gonna go early. I think it's going to be a 2-2 draw. I think it's going to be a 2-2 draw. I think it's a good opportunity for Spurs with Arsenal weakened. What I will say is this, Angus: if Arsenal do have all these injuries, and please, Arsenal fans in the chat, you'll be able to tell me a bit more. My understanding is that you're going to be missing Declan Rice, Odegaard, Mikel Merino, Tomiyasu, Tierney. Am I missing anybody else? Those are the 5 that I believe you're missing. So of those, you've got, you've got some good players there, but hey, I think the players that Arsenal are bringing in are good players. I think we've got to remember that, right? What we're doing is we're talking as though, oh my God, Odegaard's out, Rice is out, Arsenal are shit. I don't think it works like that. I don't think it quite works like that. Let's be brutally honest. Let's break this down, shall we? They've still got what is a midfielder who's better than any of ours in Thomas Partey. Whatever you think of him, Thomas Partey is a better midfielder than any central midfielder that Tottenham Hotspur have got. I'd pick him over Bentancur, over Sarr, over Basuma, over Bergvall, and over Archie Gray. So for me, that's a no contest. Now, they've got a couple of options of what they can do here. And let me know in the chat what you think they would do. Calafiori injured as well. I'm not sure if he's going to make it, but yes, thank you. Yes, thank you very much. I knew I was missing one. When you look at the options, I mean, look, Arsenal fans, you'll be able to tell me better, but Arsenal have options. We know Thomas Partey is going to play. He is now their main midfielder. Arsenal could do any of these things. They could go Thomas Partey, Jorginho, Havertz. Now, look at the experience in that midfield. It's still a very, very good midfield. Arsenal could put Jurrien Timber into midfield to play a Partey and then play Havertz. Or Havertz could go up top and they can play Trossard in that midfield as well. For me, I don't think it's as big a deal as a lot of people are making it. Yes, of course. Of course, you want to have your best players available. But I am not one that makes massive excuses. Like, I found it really boring last year, Spurs fans making loads and loads of excuses as to why we couldn't win games last year because we had a couple of injuries. I'm going to afford the same to Arsenal. Arsenal have still got enough there to be a top team. If you look at, and again, for me, I would probably think them. I'm going to hazard a guess at their 11, assuming they don't get any more injuries. It's going to be Raya in goal, Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, and Urian Timber, which is a top quality back four. I think it will then be Partey, Jorginho, and Trossard. And then I think they're going to have Havertz in the false nine. And I think it will be Saka and Sterling on the left. Now, I was speaking to my Arsenal mate earlier. And I said to him, if I was Arsenal playing against Tottenham this weekend, I don't think it really matters too much who's in that central midfield area. And let me explain. For everyone, let me explain. The goals that Tottenham have been conceding hasn't come because we've lost a midfield battle. They've come because it's those balls that are threaded down the channels or over the top. And a fine example of that is, look at the Newcastle game. Joe Linton isn't praised for being one of the league's best midfielders or one of the league's best passers of a football. But one ball just undid us. One ball. And Partey's capable of that. Jorginho's more than capable of that. Havertz in that area, he's capable of that. Trossard is capable of that. So for me, I think I'm still erring on caution. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, if we don't beat Arsenal, questions have to be asked. I think they've got a better squad now. I think the squad is getting better. I'm not saying they wouldn't want Rice and Odegaard, but I do think that a lot of people are going on. A lot of people are going on as though Arsenal have got no good players to come in. Now, again, last year there was a spell of games where they had injuries in the midfield and Jorginho came in and was excellent. I remember watching him and he was excellent. So we've got to stop this talk, like that comment I brought up earlier when someone said we should dominate the midfield. I don't know what midfield you're watching from Tottenham. I don't think we're that good in midfield. I don't think that's our strength. And it was said to me today by somebody, and I thought it was a really, really good comment actually, was Tottenham in midfield are all work rate and no real craft. And I can't disagree with it. I think we've got workhorses. You look at Sarr. I don't think Sarr's a particularly great footballer. He's got a great engine on him. I don't think he's particularly good with the ball. I don't think he can dictate a game. I don't think his passing is really that good. Same with Basuma. Again, he's got his uses. He works hard. He gets back. He gets stuck in. He can try and travel with the ball. But I don't think we've got that. And Bentancur at times can, but I don't think we've got that craft in midfield. I don't think when people are looking at Arsenal and going, oh, well, they're going to lose everyone in midfield, we're going to just run it. I think we're really overestimating our team. Can we win the game? Of course we can. Of course we can. Will we? I don't know. I mean, it would be lovely to beat Arsenal, wouldn't it? It would be absolutely lovely for a number of reasons. First of all, let's have a look at this. Who wouldn't you pick over Bentancur? Sorry. Which one of those Arsenal midfielders are you not picking over Bentancur? Are we talking about Jorginho, who's played for top football clubs, played in midfield for Italy while winning Euros? Are we talking about Thomas Partey, who's much better than Bentancur? Really? Come on, Phil. This is where I think we do. I think sometimes we need to just. I think we just need to temper expectations. I would take every single one of Arsenal's midfield options over any of ours. I haven't seen Bentancur play well for a long time now. We're still banging this drum about Rodrigo Bentancur. Not for me, I'm afraid. Not for me. A good player, but I don't know. I feel like he gets a lot of plaudits for not really doing a lot. Look, a number of reasons why it would be great to beat Arsenal. One, they're Arsenal, right? One, they are Arsenal. It would be absolutely lovely to beat Arsenal. Two, this will be 1 win in 4 if we don't beat them. And that's not a good start to a season, whichever way we want to dress it up. And with some very tough games coming up, it wouldn't be a good start. So let's see. Let's see what happens. Can we win? Absolutely we can. my worry, as always, is the defensive side from Tottenham. I've got no doubt we'll create chances. I've got no worries about that. But for me, I do worry. I do worry that one ball over the top. I do worry that Ange won't change. I do worry that Bukayo Saka's going to have a field day with how high up the pitch Destiny Udogie plays. For me, look, I know he'll never do this. He'd never do this. I'd play Van de Ven at left back, and I'd have Dragashin and Romero at centre half. I'd have the pace of Van de Ven to cope with Bukayo Saka. He didn't do it last year, and Bukayo Saka in moments tore us apart. And yeah, I agree with you, Robert. I do agree with you. I think if Basuma's out, listen, I'm hearing that there were precautions. There were precautions as to why Japan have just scored, which is really, really good for my early payout. I just need Moldova. If they could grab a second goal, that would be absolutely lovely for anyone that cares. So, look, for me, I just feel like we didn't try and counter their strengths last year. And I think we need to this year. This, for me, will be a really good test to see whether Ange has learnt or not. Look, anyone can have their feelings on any manager, on any player, of course. For me, I need to see change. I need to see that a manager has taken what's happened in the past and gone, hang on, let's try and counteract this. And Saka scares me on that right wing. He plays in that channel behind Udogie. Udogie's, Udogie's got great footballing ability going forward. Defensively, very suspect for me. Another one that was straight away put on this pedestal, but another one that constantly caught out of position, constantly making mistakes. Phil, not for me. I don't think they have got craft. Bentancur, for me, I think he does it against the lesser teams, but I've never seen him in a game against an Arsenal or a Liverpool or someone like that really, really run the game. Hey, that's just me. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but for me, I think there's a reason why we give the ball away so much in midfield. It's because these players aren't good enough. Lord has said Arsenal fans hoping for a draw. Listen, I'll take a draw right now. I'd love the win, but if you can beat the second best team in the country, if you can get a draw with them, I don't think it's the worst result. Obviously, depending on how we play, but I'll take it. Joe said, Savva, if you did a combined 11, would you say no Spurs players get in? I hate combined 11s. Look, I think the difficulty with combined 11s is teams always play differently, right? Not in a million years is Bentancur a better footballer than Jorginho. Not in a million years. I'm sorry. I'm not having that. Not in a million years. There's a reason why one's played for Chelsea and Arsenal and why the other one plays for Tottenham Hotspur. Sorry. Not in a million years. Jorginho's a very underrated, clever footballer. Not in a million years is Bentancur better than this bloke. The combined 11, you were saying, look, teams all play different styles. Look, but if you were Arsenal, would you swap their goalkeeper for ours? You wouldn't. Look how many clean sheets he has. Would you swap any of their back four for any of ours? You wouldn't. Their back four is solid. I wouldn't swap any of their midfield for Rice, Odegaard and Partey. People can argue for Son. For me, in the way they play, I don't think so. I think at the moment they're a very strong outfit. Now, obviously, they're going to have players missing this weekend. But for me, I think that shows where we're at. People in the chat will argue. Some will say, oh, he gets in and he gets in and he gets in. But for me, Bukayo Saka's better than all of our right wingers put together. Trossard, Martinelli between them, you could toss it up. And Havertz. Look, Havertz does a job. We could talk about Solanke, but for me, I need to see Solanke do it. Not just one decent season at Bournemouth. I need to see him do it. And for me, everybody knows they take the piss because I say consistency. Robert, absolutely. A draw in this game would be a good platform to go on a decent run, because then you've got Coventry afterwards that you've got to win. You've got Brentford afterwards, you've got to win. And then we've got a run of tough games. So for me, this is a real interesting one. And it is on a knife edge, right? It is on a knife edge, because lose this game and you're 1 win in 4 and you've got 4 points out of 12. And all of a sudden, it's a really bad start to the season. Win this game, you got 7 points. You got Brentford coming up next. All of a sudden, it looks a bit brighter. And that's football, right? It can all twist on one game. It can twist on one game. Angus has said, we don't want to draw, we want to win. We're out for blood after what happened versus Brighton. Look, we've got to take that into account as well. Spurs will be disappointed with the result with Newcastle. Arsenal will be disappointed with their result against Brighton. And it's a North London derby. There should be some fire. Both clubs should be out for blood. Football blood, by the way. So for me, yeah, it should be a really interesting game. I think Phil means now, not in the past, Savva. I'd still take Jorginho over Bentancur right now. Look, for me, when I saw Jorginho play last year for Arsenal, he just ran the games. He just sat there. And for me, look, I like Bentancur. I think he's a good player. I just don't go overboard about him. He's been here 3 years now. We've never really seen a run of form from him. But hey, that's just me. Where are we? Big up Ryan G is in the house. I said VDV might get in a left back. That's about it. Hey, we'll see. Gus Parker, big up Gus. How you doing? By the way, everyone, please smash that like button. Come on, let's show a little bit of love. Haven't streamed for a while, so let's show some love while I'm back. 307 of you in here at the moment, only 90 likes. So 1 in every 3 of you is smashing that like button. And please do be so kind to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate that. Where are we? Let's go to some of the comments before we move on to another subject. Again, we keep hearing that VDV gets ahead of Gabriel. I don't know what this is based on. I think Gabriel's been part of one of the best defences in the country for 2 years. For me, I don't see any reason why Van der Ven suddenly catapults above Gabriel. I think Van der Ven's a very good player. Unfortunately, he's put into a system where we just concede game after game after game. That's not his fault. But for me, Gabriel is calm. I think Gabriel and Saliba are a brilliant partnership together. They're very calm. For me, I would take those two over our two. And that's just for me. But at some point, what we've got to stop doing is we keep hearing. I keep hearing about how good Romero, Van der Ven, Udogie and Porro are. At some point, that's got to be shown on the pitch. It can't just constantly be. It can't just constantly be excuses. At some point, and this is what I think a lot of Spurs fans do. A lot of Spurs fans, we're all guilty of this at times. I think a lot of Spurs fans, we talk a great game. So-and-so's brilliant. So-and-so's going to be great. We don't actually wait for it to happen or come to fruition. Look at last year. Udogie was put, oh my God, he's brilliant. I'm watching Udogie going, yeah, you're a good footballer, but defensively, it's very worrying from him. Where are we? Zakira said, we have to win. Odegaard is out and Rice missing. We have to win as well. Is it at home? Sure, but I just don't think the players that they're bringing in are as bad as many are making. Paul Reeves has said this is probably Spurs' best chance of winning with our injuries and Rice out. Big test for Arsenal. Yeah, it is a big test for Arsenal. And again, let's look at the flip side. We talked about Spurs, the beginning to Spurs this season. Suddenly, if Arsenal don't win this game, because Man City will beat Brentford, right? I think most people would acknowledge Man City will beat Brentford at the Etihad this weekend. So Man City will be on 12 points. If Arsenal don't win this game, how many points will they be on? If Arsenal don't win this game, right? So the most they can be on is 8, or they'll stay on 7 points. So already you've got a 4 or 5 point gap to City, and Arsenal won't want that. So a big game for both clubs. There really is a lot riding on it, even after 4 games. Arsenal's away Premier League record in 2024: played 10, won 9, drawn 1, lost 0. The one draw was against City. This is what I mean. They're a top team. They're a top team that I don't think people are giving enough credit to. So for me, listen, I'll go for a 2-2 draw. I genuinely think they're a very good outfit. And you know what? They can defend. And teams that can defend have got half a chance. And Spurs can't. Boston has said, if Saka and Sterling starts, it's peak for you lot. Proper pace against that high line. Listen, that's my worry. As I've said, if I was Arteta, that is what I would do. I say this every week. If I'm the opposition manager against Spurs, I will literally put my quickest players and counter-attack. I think it's the way everyone's working us out. That is what I would do. Sterling and Saka either side, and then Havertz as the kind of deep-lying number 9 who will link up with them. That's what I would do. And if I'm Spurs, I'm dropping 10 yards. If I'm Spurs, I'm dropping 10 yards. Big up to, where did I see Nige, Pure COYS? Where is that? Nige just said they may have a few injuries in midfield, but they can bypass the midfield with the pace they have up front. One ball every time. But Nige, again, this is my concern. I'm not saying we can't hurt them the other end, but this is my concern. It's that we know it's that one ball. And you know the difference? Arsenal have got quality players that will punish us with that one ball. And that's the difference for me between playing an Arsenal and playing a Leicester City, right? I keep seeing lots of people are running out stats at the moment of, oh my God, have you seen our possession this year has been one of the best in the league? Our shots against has been one of the best in the league. You know, our football's much better this season. No offence, we've played a really bad Newcastle team. We played Leicester City and Everton. So, look, let's see it. Let's see it in practice. Quickly, a couple of super chats. Big up to Takaloshi, man. I think you did message me. Toko Loshi, I think it is. Toko Loshi, man, quite happy with a draw. Oh, he's written it there. Toko Loshi, man, quite happy with a draw. I'll take the draw all day long. Listen, a win is a bonus. I'll take the draw. I just think a defeat would be a very bad start to a season for Ange, and it would continue the bad run of form that Tottenham Hotspur are in for the last 9 or 10 months. So big up to you. Thank you so much for that. And then Matteo has said, Jorginho finished second in the Ballon d'Or 4 years ago. Yeah, Jorginho's a very good footballer. For me, he's a very good footballer. Unfortunately, we rave a lot about players that haven't really done anything. And it's more hope than anything. But big up to you, Maffio. Really appreciate that. Listen, if Maffio can put in super chats, then the rest of you can at least smash a like button that is free. And please do subscribe as well. Let's see. We're only about 30 away from 13,500. So that would be amazing if people could smash that button. Look, how do Tottenham beat Arsenal? For me, got to keep it tighter at the back. Got to be tighter at the back. And we've got to take some of our chances. So it's going to be interesting to see. So let me know in the chat. Let me know who's going to play up front. If Solanke starts, your son's going to play. Who's taking the third spot? Is it going to be Brennan Johnson? Is it going to be Odegaard? Is it going to be Kulu? Let me know your thoughts. C-Max saying Son would get in. It depends which Son. I mean, the Son I'm watching recently, I'm not sure. Lena said, afternoon, Savva, do you think that with the players you have, but let me start this again. Afternoon, Savva, do you think that with the players you have, could you see Ange telling his players that it can be a walk in the park? No, I think he's mad if he tells them that. I think Ange is not silly. I think he knows this is a top Arsenal team. And they are. Over the last 2 years, they've been magnificent. So, look, for me, I think he's got to be really clever. VDV is in my combined 11. I'm not, by the way, I'm not picking a doggy over Timber in any way, shape or form. For me, a doggy isn't a left back. I don't think he can defend very well. I think he has moments, but defenders, it can't be moments. It has to be solid throughout the entire game. Jamal Yimmer has said, Jorginho has played all the big 6 games over Partey. Arteta, trust him on his intelligence. He's a wonderful footballer. He hasn't got the pace. He's not a run-around man. But, hey, it is what it is. Destiny 5 says, Arsenal were toothless without Rice and now no Odegaard. Destiny 5, on what basis are they toothless? This is where I think we just get a little bit silly. Why are they toothless? Havertz, Saka, Martinelli, Trossard, Thomas Partey. They've got Raheem Sterling. There's a lot of their back four isn't untouched. Who do I prefer in general, Modders or Odegaard? Madders or Odegaard? Look, I think Odegaard's a really special player. I think he's a top player. I like Maddison. I do. I think Maddison needs to bring consistency to his game. Everyone knows my thoughts on the way that Ange plays him. I don't think he plays him right. But Odegaard, I'd be lying if I sat here and said that I would pick Maddison over Odegaard. I know they're the best partnership in the league. That's why I don't know how anyone thinks that you'd break it up. Everyone has an opinion, Savva. Everyone has an opinion, Savva. Has one. You have one. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm asking for people's opinions. Spurs King. Spurs thing. I said, how would any Spurs players get into Arsenal's team when only 2 Real Madrid players get into their starting 11? I just find it, I do find it bonkers, right? Whenever anybody talks about first 11, joint 11s, the bias that goes into first 11s is absolutely madness. I remember at the beginning of last year, people were going, 8 of our 11 gets into Liverpool's team. And it was like, based on what? Like, based on the first 10 games of the season? I mean, it's absolutely mad. Alfie, big up, has said, when Ange went on ITV in the summer for the Euros, talking about how good these young players are, but doesn't use our own youth. Is that the worst thing he has done in his time at Spurs? Contradictive. I don't think it's the worst thing he's done. For me, this appalling high line is the worst thing he's done, and his lack of changing it. But look, it was interesting, wasn't it, that he was so vocal about the youth players, but then doesn't play any of ours. So interesting, really interesting that was. Phil has said, I think we need to go for the win. It's the best chance to get the 3 points for a while. A win would be the boost we need to kick on. Of course, I don't think anyone's saying we shouldn't go for the win. But it's easier said than done. They're solid at the back. They are super solid at the back. We have to remember that. Gus has said Brentford, a bit of a bogey team for Man City. Let's see if they are a bit of a bogey team for them, shall we? Man City. So if we have a look at their fixtures, Man City v Brentford, standings, head to head. So Man City v Brentford. So in the last 5 games, they've won 3 and lost 2, but they've won the last 2. I'm not sure if that constitutes a bogey team. I see what you're saying, Gus. I see what you're saying. But yeah, I think Man City will be the ones more than anyone hoping Spurs get a result this weekend, right? Because I think it just takes them further away. And then let's throw a little bit more gas on this fire, shall we? Let's throw some gas on this fire. If Arsenal don't beat Tottenham, whether it's a draw or a loss, right? If they lose, they could be 5 points off of City after 4 games. If they draw, they'll be 4 points off of City. Their next game is Man City at the Etihad. Now, if Arsenal were to lose that game, that could be 7 or 8 points off the top of the title after 5 league games. That is why this game is massive for Arsenal. It's massive for Spurs, but from a title perspective, this is massive. Trying to catch Man City on 7 or 8 points, that is not easy. That is not easy. So it's going to be really interesting. Arsenal fans, let me know what you think about that. Because, listen, you're going to be playing... As far as I'm aware, you're going to be playing Man City without Rice, without Odegaard as well. So let me know your feelings. Sport Clear said Ange is the best manager in the Prem. Sure. Yeah. Why not? Ange is the best manager in the Prem. Let's see. Daniel Harris said, you know for a fact Sterling will score and start his season against Daniel. If I'm Sterling, I'm going to the manager's office and saying, Gaffer, play me. Just let me go and behind on my pace. Dan, that is what I would do, mate, wouldn't you? Let's see. Anton Pollard said Tottenham can't defend as a unit. Let's hope for a draw with a good team display. I think that sums it up nicely. Yeah, I think this is the problem. We can't defend as a unit. You know, I keep hearing people, like, again, as I said, people are saying, oh, the number of shots we have against us is low. Doesn't matter if you're not winning games, does it? Isn't that more worrying if you're having not many shots against you, but more are going in? So I think it's definitely something that Ange has got to get a handle on, because before you know it, it could go wrong. But equally, beat Arsenal, then you beat Brentford, and all of a sudden you're on a good run. So there's a lot to be said. Sorry, let me just quickly turn this game off on my alerts. Japan are 5-0 up at Bahrain. And thank you for those that have subscribed. Keep subscribing, people. We'll see if we can get to the 13,500 in this show. We're 27 away from 13,500. So if anyone would be so kind, I'd really, really appreciate that. So thank you very much. Philly, big up, brother, has said, what is the point of possession or so-called domination if you don't do anything with it? And I guess, look, this is the age-old debate in the last couple of weeks, isn't it? Lots of people. I watched a show the other day where someone was purely talking about. Hang on, there's the England team. I'll read that out in a minute. Where someone was purely talking about, well, the stats in this game show this, the stats in that game, the stats. And I was like, yeah, but the stats show that we didn't win that game or win that game or win that game. So at some point, it needs to be stats that actually back up for a good reason. By the way, for anyone that cares, the England team, I remember when do you remember when they used to put it out in order of like the goalie, 4 defenders? Now you have to do it by number. Let me have a look at this. It would be Jordan Pickford in goal, Konza and Stones at centre half, with Trent Alexander-Arnold at right back and Rico Lewis at left back. Declan Rice will be in central midfield with Angel Gomez. And then Bukayo Saka, Jack Grealish and Gordon behind Kane. Doesn't get a rest, that boy. So again, Lee Carsley, really disappointing that straight away, you know, could he not have rested Kane and given someone a game? Could he have not have given Livramento a game or Eze or Madwicki? But hey, it is what it is. I'll be honest, I'm not massively bothered by international football. Let's get back to some of the comments, shall we? A big up to each and every one of you. How are we doing for likes? Only 144 likes, 372 of you in here. Smash that button, you tight people. Big up to James Watts, who said, did you see the David Pleat comments on Levy? James, I'm going to come back to this super chat in 10 minutes. Because yes, I did. And we are going to talk about it. So I'll come back to this in a minute, all right? I promise. Tommy Castillo has said, Savva, do our fans not remember that Arsenal are more than capable to beat us without their first-team midfield? Arteta will set them up properly. Well, look, I think what makes me laugh about this is, look, Leicester City nearly beat us, right? Leicester City nearly beat us late on with Jamie Vardy, and their midfield had Harry Winks in it, right? Newcastle beat us last week, and their midfield had Longstaff, Joe Linton, and Guimaraes. But now we're going, oh, well, Arsenal are only playing Partey or Jorginho or Trossard. They're no good. And it doesn't quite make sense to me, Tommy. So, listen, you know me, I don't get carried away. I'd love to beat Arsenal. I feel like it's been a long time. I don't know how long it has been, but I feel like it's been a long time. But I just think that a little bit of respect needs to be put on their name, if I'm brutally honest. I just think, you know, I'm humble enough to admit that they're a bloody good football team. Where are we? We'll come back to James's comment in a minute. Where are we? So Phil reckons Son, Solanke and Odegaard off the right. Ryan thinks it'll be Brennan Johnson. Angus said, Savva, our goals will come from set pieces and hit yous on the counter-attack. Angus, I have nightmares about every team hitting us on the counter-attack. I really do. I think Pep might be a little concerned if that depleted midfield can get a result against one of his favourite managers in Ange. How do we know Ange is one of his favourite managers? Son will fancy himself up against White. Okay, sure. But I mean, Ben White's a very good player. Sport Claire, you do know that there is football outside the Premier League, and you can watch Urian Timber for the last few years playing in another league. It doesn't just you know, they don't just suddenly turn into pro footballers when they're in England. Do I trust any of our players at the moment, Savva? I mean, I guess the question is going to be, trust them for what? I don't know. I mean, I don't know what. Can you, Tyler, quantify what you mean? Football Shorts. Udogie is a good defender. He was the only one who stopped Salah last season. I don't know what that really means. He was the only one who stopped Salah last season. Look, I don't think he's particularly great defensively. I think he's a good footballer. I just don't think he's a good defender. Again, I don't mean the odd good tackle. I mean doing it over and over again. Savva, Jorginho and Partey don't cover as much ground as Rice. I think that's where we can take advantage. Sure. But do you know the difference between what they'll do and what we won't do? They'll adapt. When they have players out, they'll adapt. We have players out, we just keep doing the same thing. There's a huge difference. Look, you know, I'm not saying we can't win it. I just think it's a tougher game than people are giving this credit for. I think we literally just gone, oh my God, Rice and Odegaard are out, and everyone's kind of got a bit carried away. Yeah, I think it will be another 3 or 4. And I think Erling Haaland, who is without a doubt the greatest striker in the world right now, has been for years, will grab another brace. He's on fire, isn't he, that boy? If Arsenal don't win either game, then they aren't winning the title of the season. I agree with you, but there's a lot of football to play. But you're right. If you get to the point, Ryan, where after 5 games you're 7 or 8 points off the top, you're then expecting Arsenal. You're then expecting Man City to drop 3 games and you not drop any more for the season. It's a big ask, isn't it? It's a really big ask, and that's the difference between top teams and very good teams. Where are we? Big up to my man Dan. How you doing, bro? Hope you're well. How's the channel coming along? Please get over and show some love and support to the Spurs DANalist. Danalist. Big up, Savva. Have you made your prediction yet for the Spurs Arsenal game? I'm going with 2-2. I just worry that they're gonna get in behind us time and time again. I just worry that every team will do that. Yeah. The thing is, if they get themselves into a massive lead, Dan, they can even afford for him to get injured. That's how good they are. It's absolutely crazy. And he looks scary this year. Ange is a fraud, with a picture of Southgate and a Man U logo, has said it's not massive for us. We have Ange as a manager. There's already nothing to play for. Very downbeat on that one. Ange is a fraud. Ankit has said Adobe 23, Mickey 23, Sar 22, Kulo 24, Johnson 23, and Ange doesn't play younger players. Ankit, I think that's gone right over your head, my friend. We're talking about youth players. We're not talking about, I mean, once players get to 22, they've been in first teams for 3, 4, 5 years. I don't think Adobe is 23, is he? So I think that went right over your head. We were talking about dropping in the young players if they're good enough, not players that you've bought to go in your team. We're talking about the Mikey Moores. We're talking about the Ashley Phillips. We're talking about the Bergvals, the Greys. Sam said, how can you have Timber over Dogu who's played a grand total of 5 games for Arsenal? Because Sam, I'll explain it to you that there is football outside of the Premier League. Shock, horror. There is football outside of the Premier League. Listen, for me, I just think Timber's a better footballer. For me, Udogie is rash for me. I think he's out of position. A lot of it I don't blame on him. I blame it on the tactics, but I feel like he's a left wing back being asked to be a left back that flies forward. Rice is available against City. Oh, is he? I don't know. Is he? He could well be. He could well be. Sorry, if he is, he is. All right, fair enough. All right. Jordan said he gave Porro a tough time last season at Hotspur Stadium with Chelsea. Is that Sterling? Yeah. Look, I think if they play him, we should worry. Big up Terry O'Shea. How you doing, bro? Said evening, Sav. Late to the party and not sure if it's been mentioned, but Sumo got injured last night. Yeah, apparently he came off. Somebody I know who watched the game said that it looked more in precaution than a bad injury. But we'll see. We'll see. Right, just quickly, can someone block the scammer? Yes, Sam. If you listen, you've said this about 8 times. You can leave it now. We got a point. I brought up your message. It's been read. Just give it a break, my man. EJH said, massive game for us on the weekend. Man City have Brentford at home, which I expect them to win. I looked at Liverpool's next few games, and they are very winnable. Yeah, it's a big game for them. It's a big game for them. But equally, for anyone that missed the start of this show, it's a big game for us. If we lose this game, this will be 8 defeats in our last 14 games. That's awful. That's almost relegation form. So we've got to stop that somewhere. This is like watching an affiliation of AFC TV. I don't know what that means. Arsenal, AFTV. This is like watching an affiliate. I don't know what that means. What does that mean? What have I said that's mad? I don't understand people. Gumby says he thinks we'll lose 3-1. Gumby, you Spurs? Jordan said, I rate Havertz. He is surprising Arsenal fans. Well, listen, I went live before he signed, and I said, I don't think it's a terrible signing for Arsenal. I don't. I think a lot of people went mad at it, and I think he's done really well. But again, people are going to think how they think. Yeah, I think this is generational, though, Savva. He is. He is indeed. 150 likes. Absolutely. We're on 167 now. We should be on 200. So please smash that like button, people. And well done to Moldova. Moldova. So my 13 team ACCA, the first 3 teams have all won. And 20 quid pays back $3,000. So we'll see. We'll see if that comes in, shall we? What do you mean, Dan? Won't let me do member. What do you mean, Dan? What does that mean? What do you mean? And I said Udogie is good when it comes to foot races and getting physical with the winger. But when the winger takes him on, he struggles a lot. Agreed. And top fullbacks don't let that happen. I agree. But again, he is young. He's got a lot of learning to do. And I don't think it's helped by the system. But hey, that's just me. Look, as I said, nearly every time I do a show, I see people just constantly putting our players on this pedestal, that, not you, but this pedestal, that pedestal. But then when we don't win, there's always an excuse as to why we didn't win with all these great players. Lynn Simpson, big up Lynn, has said Saliba will stop Son because he has slowed down his last 2 seasons. It should be a good matchup. I mean, look, Son, I should think will play from the left. So it'll be Son against Ben White more than anything, but we'll see. No option for membership. I don't know what that means. Why is there no option for membership? Let me have a look. One sec. Where's my Football Heritage membership? Yeah. If you smash this button here, so I'm going to put this in there, and then I'm going to pin it. There we go. Let's pin that. So the pinned comment the pinned link is the link to. There we go. So the pinned comment is for memberships. I don't know why people are saying they can't get memberships. Big up to Dan as well. Dan and Steve, big up to you. Big up Sean Brown. How you doing, bro? Hope you're well. Lewis, good evening to you. Evening, Savva. Lost all faith in Ange. Just tactics epoxy and out. Look, I think before saying things like that in this week, let the game plan play out, because if he does go and beat Arsenal convincingly, there'll be a few words said, won't there? But look, some people like him, some people don't, some people love the style, some people don't, and it's each to their own, right? That's all it is. It's just a football opinion. Big up to Jacob United, Spurs of America in the chat. Big up, bro. Hope you enjoyed your time away. I think you went away for the weekend, maybe, or yeah, I'm pretty sure. Spoke to you a while back. Yeah, hope you're well, my man. Bonkers LFC has said Partey is a starter with Odegaard and Rice. So Jorginho and Mourinho are the backup midfield. So Jorginho will come into the midfield, right? And probably be Jorginho Havertz and Partey, or Trossard can drop in there as well. Still good options. Still good options. Because what we can't do is we can't have fans, not you, we can't have Spurs fans sitting there right now going, oh, we're going to beat them easy. They've got loads of players out. Then finding an excuse if we don't win. That's why I'm always very wary of when fans make these crazy predictions. Own it. Own it. If you're going to say we're going to batter Arsenal, own it. When we don't, you're going to have to give stick to the team. You know what I mean? Where are we? Daniel has said, Savva, you think we'll actually score twice? What's with this new toxic pod? Listen, I think, look, I think it's a North London derby. I think it's going to be hectic. I think we will have chances to score. You'd like to think that the Madisons, the Sons, the Solankes will step up. So, look, we'll see, bro. We'll see. We'll see toxic positivity. I've never been accused of my toxic positivity before. Score 1-1, nothing more. Otherwise, negative, positive debate will start. Yeah, so yeah, if you say Spurs are going to win, it's positive. You say they're going to lose, it's negative. Yeah. As a neutral, a doggy is better than Timber. I mean, I know I'd rather have defending, but that's just me. That's just me. Big up to my man Ryan in the chat. How you doing, bro? Ryan said, big up, Savva. How are you and the dogs? What did Tottenham do on Sunday? I think we lose 3-0. I think it's going to be 2-2. I can see either team nicking this, but let's see. Let's see. What we do know is we've got to start picking up some results because at the moment, the form isn't good. And for some, the Everton win can mask over a lot. Not for me. The Everton win didn't mask over anything for me. I don't know why. I don't know why people can't. I'm not sure what's going on there. Gumby has said, I'll always be a Spurs, but Arsenal are a very good club and we must be realistic. As it stands, they're the better team as of right now. Look, they are the better team. But on the day, North London derby, you just never know, do you? Big up to Roberto. Big up to you, my friend, who has said, big up to you, Savva, for always keeping it real. Great Spurs fan. Thank you. As a City fan, rooting for you lot this weekend. Smash up Bottle FC, the 5p loading. Yeah, big up to you, Roberto. Look, yeah, it's a massive weekend. It's a mass. When do you play Brentford? Do you know what? That's pure laziness. I can find this out. Premier League fixtures. So Man City play Brentford on Saturday, right? 11th, 12th. Man City play Brentford on Saturday. So by 5 o'clock on Saturday, Man City could already be however many points clear of Arsenal. So they'll want to make sure that doesn't get too far. But hey, listen, big up to you, Roberto. Really appreciate that. Where are we? Let's get some more comments before we talk about David Pleat, Spurs legend. Terry has said, I don't even think Adogi does anything going forward either, to be honest, except take Madison's space to operate. Look, Terry, I try and find positives where there are. I think Adogi's a good footballer. I just don't think he's quite found a role in this team yet. But you know what Spurs fans are like. We're going to just claim that players are great because they play for Spurs, which is fine. Listen, I think you're bringing the sarcasm here, my man. I said, we'll win this easily. 3-1. We're going to outplay them completely. And pundits will be shocked how tell Cockerell, if that loads. Yeah, big up to you. How you doing, man? Hope you are well. Good evening to you. Been watching your show this week. Good to see you on screen. And I love your presenting style. Don't forget, though, I will never forget the one line you said that we disagreed on. But big up to you. Hope you're well, my man. And get over and subscribe to LTEL as well. Big up. Really good guy. Really nice guy in the community. I said Odegaard is a huge loss for Arsenal. If Spurs not get a draw or a win, it's not acceptable. Then Ange is as bad as Solbakken. I just don't think it's that straightforward. I think that we're just dismissing the other players that Arsenal have far too easily here. Yes, Rice and Odegaard are very good footballers that will start every time for them. But the players coming in aren't going to be terrible. They're not. Phil Moss has said, we will not beat Arsenal with the players and tactics that we have. I hate it, but it's just so obvious to me. Isn't it? It is what I love about our fan base. we go from one extreme to the other, and I love it. Big up to you, Phil. Hope you're well. From Phil Moss to Phil COYS said, starting to hear the only challenges to the Prem are Arsenal and City. Why are Liverpool not getting talked about as much? They have a better chance than Arsenal. I think they're not being talked about as much because they didn't really do a lot in the transfer window, right? To close that gap. For me, I think Liverpool are a very good team. I think they'll be there or thereabouts. I just don't think they'll be anywhere near City. That's only my opinion. But we'll see. We will see, won't we? Big up to Raiden, who said, I don't hate Arsenal. I hate Arsenal fans. Look, I've got some mates who are Arsenal fans, and they are wicked. They are down to earth. And then you get Arsenal fans that are just, you get Spurs fans that are the same, that are just so biased that you can't have a football conversation. And for me, all I want, and the reason I started my channel was I want football conversation. I don't want it to be, oh, I'm Spurs, I just have to say nice things and everything's great. I want to debate football. I want to talk about football and be real. If that means me saying some things that Spurs fans can't quite get on board with, but they know deep down is true, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. One day, Spurs will prove me wrong and I'll have to shut up. Until then, it's not going to happen. Big up to, you're more than welcome, bro. Big up to you, my man. Please get over there, smash your, whack your link in the chat, and let's, do you know what? We need to start rebuilding this community, don't we? We need to stop the fighting and start having some loving. All right, let's get some loving going on in here, people. Let's get some loving. I love this account. Tottenham reminds me of prime Barcelona. Yeah, me too, man. Me too. Odegaard, yes, this is what I mean. I mean, like, Odegaard's missing, yeah, but listen, you know, Man City play without players. Man City have just won 3 games out of 3 without Rodri. You know what I mean? Without Walker, without Stones, without, you know, it's all fine. I don't like Arsenal. I hate Arsenal. Big up to you. Big up to you. Gus has said you get more stick from Spurs. Gus, that's the mad thing about it. I do. I get more hate from my own fan base than this. And do you know what? What I find funny is, for someone who's always called negative and the stick I get, Tottenham haven't proved me wrong for years. Do you know what I mean? I come on and say, oh, this, that, the other. You're negative. Cool. Come the end of the season. Oh, okay. Yes, D247. Yeah, a big up. Listen, there is a YouTube channel. Let me see if I can find it first. Hang on 1 second. Where is it? Here it is. Right. So, look, I want to be really clear here. So there was a YouTube channel of a really cool young kid. He must be, look, I don't know. He's really young. He's really young. And his channel is called Chirpy Corner. Okay. Now, hear me out before everyone goes and subscribes. This channel has been put together by Remy and his dad, right? And Remy presents, and it is for young Spurs fans to watch. So there's no comments. There's no comment sections. There's no way that people can come in and start abusing kids and saying horrible things. It's for kids. He's a really, really cool little kid, a really good little presenting style. And they're just trying to grow his channel a little bit. And listen, this could help him in the future become a presenter. So please, if you haven't, please do subscribe to him and watch it with your kids. Yeah, this isn't something, no adults are going to watch this on their own. That's not what this is about. This is a safe place. Here it is. This is a safe place for kids to watch other kids talking about Tottenham. He's really cute. And watch it with your kids. It's really safe, right? Because there's no comments that can go in. So look, listen, he's really cool. And listen, I'm going to play his video a little bit because I don't think anyone's going to do me for copyright here. I don't think anyone's going to do me for copyright. So let's see. 1 second. Let's see. You ready? I'm going to share this because I just think he's such a cool little kid. I really do. I know his dad won't do me for copyright here because we're helping them out. Share screen, Chirpy Corner. Right. Can you all see this? Can you all see this? Right, I'm going to play this. Look at this little kid. He's so cool. Right, let's go. You ready? Let's see. Let me know if you can hear this.
Welcome to Chirpy Corner. Come on, you Spurs!
I just think he's really cool. Oh, there we go. We're back. We're back. Let me get into it. Here we go. Look.
Season 2, Episode 4. We've had a whole lot of new subscribers. So, hi to those new fans of Hero. But, so one of the Spurs players is hit it, and I think free play. And then it was going to go to Son, but Ramiro jumped in and then got the...
So I'll leave it there. But guys, girls, please do me a favour. I can see people logging off now that I've shown that. I mean, those people we don't need them here. Please, if you can, go over and subscribe. Really help his channel grow. He's a really cool little kid. His dad's, set him up nicely for this. He's a really cool guy. He's got like 205 subscribers. Let's see what we can do. Now, moving on, let's talk about... And listen, he is super cute, right? He is a super cute little dude, and he's got his thing, right? And when he talks about it, what I love about him, he's got that thing that some of us have lost. You know, like when you're growing up and nothing else matters. None of this winning the league, none of this, you know what I mean? Like which players are good, how much money is spent. It's just, that's your team. He's in that stage of life, and I love it. I'm far too old and cynical now, but listen, this cool kid, if he keeps doing this, you never know. He could be a presenter when he's older. So please share the love. Let's see if we could get him up to 250, that would be amazing. He's currently sitting there on 213. So thank you for the ones that have all gone over there and subscribed. Let's now talk about something from the really positive of the community to the horrible part of Tottenham Hotspur. Yes, Daniel Levy. Daniel Levy. Let's have a look, shall we? Let's have a look at some of the things that have happened with Daniel bloody Levy. This is why I will never get invited to Tottenham Hotspur, by the way, because I don't say nice things about him. Look, let's have a look. So first and foremost, David Pleat said this. Okay, so this is what David Pleat on his memoir, that being written to raise money towards finding a cure for motor neuron disease. So bearing in mind, this is all to do with charity. Okay, David Pleat says they're not going to sell it there. Something to do with it not being through the club's official publisher. I asked Daniel Levy if I could have a room there to launch it and do a presentation. He said he'd get back to me. I've not heard anything. It's funny. Arsenal gave Bob Wilson a seat for life. A seat for life. They're a classy club, Arsenal. Me, I was told I can get a ticket at Spurs subject to availability. Subject to availability. Ha! Mind you, Bob did much more for Arsenal than I ever did for Tottenham. Now, the worrying thing about that, right? The worrying thing about that is David Pleat, for anyone that doesn't know, is an absolute legend at Tottenham Hotspur. Manager, director of football, scouting, everything. Like, he's just been at Spurs since I was a little kid. I remember David Pleat being involved in the team as manager and stuff. And that's how he's treated by Daniel Levy. Then if that's not bad enough, listen to this. This blows my mind. And again, this is what I'm reading. It's being quoted, so I'm not sure if it's real. And by the way, yeah, Francis Reynolds, yeah, he stepped in a number of times as caretaker as well. So by the way, this goes back to this. So big up, James Watts. I didn't forget your super chat. Big up to you, my man. And keep telling everybody else to please keep liking and subscribing. We're 25 subscribers away from 13.5K. 25. Can we do it, people? 25 of you? Come on. Show some love, please. By the way, here's what was said. Former Spurs scout David Pleat. I think it's a bit harsh just calling him a scout. Daniel Levy called me and said, you know, it's all data driven now. We don't need eyes and ears. To which David Pleat goes on to say, what nonsense. I mean, listen, there is a place for data. But if you're ever going to tell me a club doesn't sign a player with these, I mean, let's be brutally honest. All of the best stats can tell you one thing. I.e., my mate messaged me when he saw this. I'm not going to name names. My mate messaged me, and you know what he said? He said, this is the problem. Some of the data will tell you Brennan Johnson's a very good player. But when I use my eyes, I see that he's absolutely shit. Now, listen, that's one man's opinion on Brennan Johnson. But this is the worry, right? That if we go so far down this route, this data route, which has led to what? You know what I mean? So I think it's a real concern for me that we're reading that about our owner, about our chairman, and you know, people will justify it. I think that the club has lost something over the years. I feel that the club has lost something. I feel that we're very divided now. I don't remember Spurs being like this many moons ago. I thought all the fan base was pulling in the same direction. For me, the man's created a luxury experience, but not on the football pitch. I think that's what he's done. And when you read these things about scouting and you read these things about how he's treated an all-time great, it really is sad to see. Yeah, acid twin, absolutely. You're right. Social media does play a big part. Absolutely. Jimmy Hotspur. Absolutely. Data. Yeah, we've got a new data-led approach, and that got us Werner Johnson. So, Alpesh said the club has no soul under Levy. It's all robotic. I agree. I completely agree. Where's the humanity with our beloved club? Look, Eltel, big up in the chat, said the only people invited back to the club are yes men. People like Perryman and Vega not welcomed. I mean, Jose. The key thing here for me is, look, you've been a Spurs fan longer than me, I'm guessing, right? And I just always felt that when I went, there was a vibe. There was, you know, I'm not saying we were the greatest team, but I just felt like the club had a purpose. The club had heart. It had soul. It had meaning. Now I look at it and it really does just feel like a corporate day out, which is why I won't pay him anymore. And many people like that. Gus, another one, saying I'll never set foot in that place. Listen, not until he goes. Not until he goes. I really won't. I just feel like what he's done to this club is, I don't know. I just can't. I find it really hard to put into words just how not disassociated I am. Because obviously I love Spurs. I've got a Spurs YouTube channel. But I used to go into games just so excited. I used to go into games thinking, oh my God, we're going to try and do this and do that. And now we go into games and I just feel that it's all a bit like, oh, all right, we signed kids again. Oh, all right. You know, and Brennan Johnson, sorry, just read his name somewhere. And then you get fans going, oh, but top players don't want to join us. Well, if top players don't want to join us, why build the stadium? Like, you know what I mean? Just keep the old stadium or slash the ticket prices. So for me, I really do find it hard in any way. I'd love to sit down and speak with the Spurs hierarchy. Not that it would ever happen. I'd love to, not in a rude way, but I'd love to just sit down and say, do you know how some of the fan base feels about the way this club is run? And, you know, it doesn't matter how many times you sit in front of an audience and go, we've got our Tottenham back. And it doesn't really mean anything. But hey, again, Ben Davis has said, yeah, that's exactly what we've become, a hospitality experience. I agree with you. By the way, come on, 24 subscribers away from 13.5K. There's 358 of you in here. Surely there's got to be a few of you that haven't subscribed. Francis has said, seems like an excuse not to spend money to improve the squad. If a player has good stats in the Eredivisie, doesn't mean they can do it in the Prem. Look, I just think that football's got a bit silly at times, hasn't it? We talk so much, like when I'm seeing people justifying, like, you know, oh, we lost to Newcastle, oh, but it wasn't as bad as losing to them last year, and you're like, that's not a justification of anything. But look, for me, Daniel Levy, he's not the one. Big up to Bobby K in the chat. Bobby K, my favourite Canadian. Oh, yeah, Brian Daigle's not Canadian, is he? He just lives there. My favourite Canadian, Bobby K in the house. How you doing, brother? Hope you're well. Ankit said, Danny Rose said he was laughed at by his England teammates for his low wages. I don't need the hospital experience. We healthy in Anfield. I don't know what that means. Philly 2109. Big up, brother. How you doing? They said humanity doesn't exist at Spurs anymore, or they won't charge the fans the way they do. Even our past legends like Greaves are disrespected. Oh God, yeah. Yeah, it's mad. It is terrible. Hotspur Ash just said our club is dead, and I don't see Levy legging anytime soon. We're actually doomed. Look, I just think we're always going to be there or thereabouts in terms of 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. I've got no doubt about that. But at what point do we kick on? I haven't seen us kick on in 20 years. I know people want to pretend we've kicked on, but I don't think we've kicked on in 20 years, in 24 years. Big up, Rich. How you doing, man? This is Savva. I think if you spoke with the ownership, you'd leave very frustrated. Levy doesn't believe he's doing anything wrong. Of course, because he doesn't care about the football side of things. Terry O'Shea has said, you don't need data for top players. That's basically saying we're just going to go for relative unknown players based on data. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, here we go. Look. Say his name and he shall appear. Big up, Brian. Big up everyone in the chat. And, of course, Savalicious. Hope you are well. I am well. Let's hope you are well. Look, the Canadians are coming. I feel like there's a song in there somewhere. The Canadians, Brian's here and Bobby K's here. Hands up. Anyone else here from Canada? I've never been to Canada. Really want to go, and I really want to go and watch an ice hockey game there. Really, really, really want to go. Love ice hockey. Big up to Billy. How you doing? Hope you're well, my friend. Where are we? Joe Buck has said, Levy and Enoch don't care about legacy. They just care about the coffers. Absolutely. Absolutely. Ryan Trustain has said, Savva, I want trophies year in, year out. So Levy out. Guys, for the last 10 minutes, I wanted to have a discussion about, yes, RIP, James Earl Jones. What a legend. What a true legend of the screen. Yeah, for me, I know he gets all the talk about Darth Vader and Star Wars, but for me, it's coming to America. If you know, you know. Just see Sean's back on his channel. Is he? Big up. I didn't know Sean was back. Is this true? Let's see. Is he? Spurs talk show. Is he back? Where are we? Oh, yeah, he's like, yeah, he's back. Yeah, cool. I didn't know. Well, good. Listen, it's great to see him back. It really is great to see him back. So the best of luck to Sean. Listen, we've got a lot of time for Sean. I hope he's well, and I hope all of the issues are in the past now. Scott. I know. I'm so sorry, Scott. I'm so sorry. I forgot. I love all the Canadians, all right? I love all the Canadians. Big up. Liberty Budio says, Savva, how many times did I call you name? Speak truth to power, bro. We disagree to agree. And on Levy, no two ways. He's only worried about his pocket. Big up to you, my man. I hope you are well. Look, it is what it is, right? Guys, girls, I only plan to go for a short time today. Just before we go, I just wanted to get everyone's idea of Harry Kane. Harry Kane's coming into a bit of stick from pundits, fans alike, for recent England performances. What do you make of it? Now, forget that he played for Spurs. Should Harry Kane be England's number one striker still? Is he blocking the pathway for others? Is he still the best? Have his performances been bad? Let me know what you think. Big up Bobby K. Angus said, Savva, who do you think will win a major trophy first between us, yous, Man United and Liverpool? Liverpool. If I'm going to be honest, I think it will be Liverpool. They just seem to win trophies. But guys, girls, I am going to leave it there. Listen, get over. Watch Sean. Welcome him back. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to send everyone there. Bear with me 1 second, and I'll just send the link. And then if you could just do a Savva raid, that would be absolutely brilliant. If I can remember how to do it live. There we go. Live. Let's go. Details. Customization. Oh, redirect ads. What's his channel called? Spurs Talk Show. There we go. Spurs Talk Show. Can't see it. Spurs Talk Show. That's weird. It's not coming up. There we go. Spurs Talk Show. So I've just put that in. Please get over there and show Sean some love on his return. Please, when you get there, just say Savva raid. Really appreciate it, guys. Take care. I'll be back maybe on Thursday. Lots of love. And look, hopefully Spurs don't pick up any injuries between now and then. Take care, everyone. And as always, come on, you Spurs.